Could this be the move that takes Chelsea back to the very top? I'm not talking about just being in the conversation, having a chance of winning. Could this be the deal? Could this be the two deals that takes Chelsea Football Club back to the pinnacle of the game? Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Get that bell notification turned on as well. It's right next to the subscribe button. Get it clicked. Get it done. I really do appreciate you all being here. But this has got me a bit shook. The Premier League won't be the same next season if these deals come off. I've spoke already many times this summer that Chelsea will shock people. I said that maybe a week into the Club World Cup, they go on to win it. I watched João Pedro, a player that I wasn't overly keen on when I saw him at Brighton. He looks a different animal, a different player. Now that he's in a better team, he's got the motivation of delivering for a giant club. We saw what he did in that semi-final and in that final of the Club World Cup, especially against Paris Saint-Germain. Still, in my opinion, the best team in the world. Chelsea scare me. It was only a couple of years ago they were in the mud. It's only a couple of years ago that it didn't matter how bad my club, Man United, were doing. Chelsea were the kind of laughing stock, the banter club, as people would refer to it. But they stayed true to their plan. We criticized mistakes they made. Chelsea fans criticized mistakes they made. But they've come out smelling of roses. The Champions League money, the Club World Cup money, selling of assets, they've got money to burn. And they are sticking to their plan, but they are adding quality, and even more quality. And as I've already said, if Chelsea pull this off, in fact, it's done. Both players have agreed to come. Let's just have it right. We're 2 minutes in. Let's just speak. Both players have agreed personal terms. Both players have said yes to the Chelsea project. We know they're going to get the deal done with the club. They invariably do. They nearly always get this done. And Chelsea Football Club have gone out there and they're looking at Javi Simons. For me, let's just talk about him for a moment. An additional creative spark that Chelsea need, but also versatile. And I think when you look at the way Maresca's playing, yes, he likes a touchline winger, but what he loves is versatility. So a player that can be in the middle, a player that can drift out wide, a player that can drop a little bit deeper and pick the ball up, and they're comfortable. And Javi Simons gives you that. He has played in multiple leagues already at such a young age and can score and he can assist. Now, again, people may look at the numbers in the last 12 months and go, oh, there's better numbers out there in the market. But you're discounting the fact that Leipzig went through a bit of a poor period. He is going to elevate at Chelsea. He's just got that about him. He really, really is. And this is the thing. He wants Chelsea. Arsenal have shown interest in other clubs, but he wants Chelsea, and these deals are accelerating at pace because the players are making it do that. I also think he fits the philosophy as well of Maresca, which also matches what Chelsea are trying to do. The profile element works brilliantly. Now, I haven't seen too many reports on the price yet, and price is always an indicator of, as a player worked out, are you getting value for money? But this is just another player in a long line of talent they already have, and they're adding to this year. I think Gittins is being written off by so many people because he's raw. I think there's such a talent in there. We already know about Caicedo, Palmer, Enzo, João Pedro. The lap's almost become a sort of a figment of our imagination. We're almost forgetting like this has happened with Chelsea because it was done so many weeks ago. He is there now as well. And now what Chelsea are doing, even more soberingly, even more frustrating as a rival, is they're looking at the back. They're looking at the defense. Now, Hato of Ajax, he's young. And he's raw because he's young. No one at 19, 20 years of age is the finished article, not defensively. But this young man rates amongst the world's brightest and best young defenders. I believe he's the youngest ever captain of Ajax. And I think that, for me, from a mentality standpoint, stands out huge. It's huge. The fact that He's captained such an iconic team with a demanding fan base. I think is really, really important. I know he's only young, but I think he's had over 100 senior appearances as well. Plus, he's already played for the Netherlands. So you're talking about a young player, but not an overly inexperienced individual. What he also brings is that he can play left centre back, which I think is his long-term role. There are question marks over Levi Colwill, but he can also cover at left back as well. And Cucurella has probably been, for most people, the best, if not inside the top 3 left backs in the Premier League for the past 12 to 18 months. He's just been fantastic. Took him a little bit of time to settle, but he's been amazing. But Hato gives quality for now, versatility and covering of places, plus the long-term future in the ceiling is high. And that's the biggest thing here. The ceiling is so high. There is talk about being as good as Van Dijk. If you actually go and read some of the scouting reports from say, a year ago, so disconnected from Chelsea and go and look, he is so respected and well thought of in Dutch football. They really rate this man highly. And if he is nurtured and if he is developed, like Chelsea have done with Palmer, like they've done with Caicedo and other young players, he has got the potential to go through the roof. Now, for me, what this Chelsea summer is missing is still improving on that goalkeeper. If they improve on that goalkeeper, I'm getting to this point where all bets might be off. Liverpool right now are the favourites. Arsenal, for me, right now, since the Jorrel deal, they're in the second favourite position. Chelsea, they're bordering now with Man City. They're bordering now with Man City because City had a really good start to the summer with the 3 players ahead of the Club World Cup, but they haven't moved forward. Now, all of the top 4 teams from last year are moving like crazy in the transfer window. They're taking that Club World Cup money, Champions League money, Premier League prize money, and they're throwing so much at it to try and create clear blue water between the top 4 and the rest of the league, and they're smashing everybody else to pieces in the transfer window. You compare it to Newcastle that came 5th and also qualified for the Champions League. You compare it to Spurs, who won the Europa League and qualified for the Champions League. Their transfer windows are night and day. So for me now, Chelsea have gone on par with Man City. Let's wait and see a few preseason games with these players in the side, because these are fantastic bits of business. Fantastic bits of business by Chelsea. Absolutely astounding. They fit their model. They're young. They're not overly expensive. Their wages are low, but they're brilliant players. They add that top-class goalkeeper. If they go and get that done, Chelsea, they can win the Premier League. They've got a chance now. They enhance it further. And I know some people will look at the content I'm making at the moment and go, Terry, but you're really praising Arsenal as well, and you're really praising Liverpool. How can you be praising Chelsea as well? For about 4 or 5 years, I've been talking about on YouTube, I've been speaking about the best era of Premier League football I witnessed. And I always felt it was from around 2004 to around 2013. And the reason why I held it in such high regard is the 90s was brilliant. The early noughties was brilliant. But we got into this point where in that entire period, every member of our top 4, almost every season, barring the year that Everton made it, there was a genuine, bona fide, real opportunity, real chance that Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, United could win the Champions League. Towards the end of that period, you started to see, Spurs crept in there, City started creeping in, and I think the standards started slipping a little bit. Not because it's Spurs or City, but those clubs, especially City, were on the up and up. They weren't established like Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal were. But certainly from around 2004 till about 2009, 2010, 11, that period, 2012, where Chelsea won it, every single season, all 4 of our clubs were looked at as brilliant. We weren't really that weak. Any one of us could have won the league. Any one of us could have won the Champions League. That was a genuine conversation where you didn't get laughed at. In the last decade or so, most seasons City have been contenders for everything. Definitely the league. Liverpool for a large period of that, but they have up and down periods. Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United in the last 13 years, the vast majority of the time, we have not been title contenders or been laughed at when it's been suggested. Chelsea, from around 2013 to around 2017, of course they won it twice. But for the past 8 years, it's a long time, they haven't been in that title race for long enough and strong enough. Arsenal, out of it for ages. The last 2 to 3 years, they're back in it again. What we are now witnessing, in my personal opinion, is 4 clubs, and annoyingly for me, one of them isn't mine, that are just better than everybody else. They're going to get better again this summer. They're going to yield that financial might they have to create that clear blue water and then try and keep everybody else at bay, to create that supremacy that I think in the last decade or so has been missing. The top 4, as it used to be called, became the top 6 because of money. And then there's been loads of upstarts, Newcastles and Leicesters, to name just 2, that have been challenging and pushing. West Ham had a few years where they challenged. Brighton have had some periods where they look like they could grab a place in that top 6 in the season. And there's others, and I'll be forgetting them, and you'll remind me in the comments. But this move from Chelsea doesn't just get them closer to winning a league title. It pulls them further away from everybody else. And because I'm not in that group, this is worrying. This panics me. But I've got to say, objectively, this is fantastic business from Chelsea again, with what already is an amazing summer. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Please make sure you're sharing this video. Put it in your group chats. Put it in your Telegram groups. Put it on social media. I'd love to see that. Tag me at Terry Fluids. You can see the links down there on X or Instagram. It'd be amazing if you could do that. But I just really want to get more people's opinions on this, because fuck, everybody's moving well. Jesus Christ, you're all moving brilliantly. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.